on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
It's always an honor to take the mound. It's even more special when you're given the opportunity to take the mound for the home opener. Many great ones have had that honor over the years, no matter what ballpark they called home. And today, that honor belongs to Cole. There is nothing better than opening day at Citizens Bank Park. The ceremonies prior to the start of this ball game, this has become an annual tradition. The players entering from center field and finding their way onto the field, greeted by some of the Phillies fans, getting a chance to soak in all of the excitement that surrounds opening day 2012, and then the introductions. As a kid, this is one of the best things about the start of the season, and for Phillies fans, it's one of the best things about being home. After a weekend in Pittsburgh, you can soak in the chance to see your heroes really for the first time in their home uniforms. Juan Pierre introduced as the leadoff man this afternoon here at Citizens Bank Park. It's game one of a three-game series against the Miami Marlins. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy along with Chris Wheeler. Happy to be home after the Phillies' three-game series in Pittsburgh. And the Phillies are happy to hand the baseball this afternoon to Cole Hamels.
Yeah, they did it on purpose, Tom. Obviously, this is game number 4, and he is not the fourth starter on this baseball team. But they felt it was an honor they wanted to give to Cole Hamels, that he had earned it throughout his career here in Philadelphia. And it is a big deal to be the hometown pitcher on the opening day here in your own ballpark. Now, Cole Hamels has pitched very well lately against the Florida Marlins. Outstanding. Now they are the Miami Marlins, so they hope he pitches just as well against a team now called Miami. This was a game on a hot, muggy night in South Florida last year, and he was really dealing using all of his pitches. Cole Hamels has not been around all that long, but look what he has done in his major league career. This guy is just a tremendous major league pitcher, and the Phillies expect big things from him. Now, one thing about playing in Philadelphia is the tremendous fan support the players get in this town, but that's not the only place they get a lot of support, and Cole Hamels talked about that.
I can answer that in two different ways, just for the fact because I think it's been great that our Phillies fans actually travel. When you go to opposing ballparks, we almost sometimes outnumber the opposing fans, so it kind of makes it really fun there. But, when you do come home, you always look forward to, the sellouts and the energy, just because it does seem to, obviously push you to another level to play, but I think it also discourages the opposing team when they come in and can kind of, make them a little bit uneasy, and therefore we have to take advantage of it, and we can, go out and win.
And the one thing a pitcher has to worry about is not to get too much adrenaline at the start. And this game will be affected today by an unbelievable wind, Tommy.
Unbelievable wind and unbelievable fan support. There's nothing better than the home opener of a baseball season. And for more on that, here's Greg Murphy and the Sarge.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, 3 games in the books now, Sarge, but now the team gets to come back home, gets to play here, their home opener at Citizens Bank Park in front of the fans in Philadelphia. That's always a special day.
Oh, no doubt about it. Almost really exciting times here, almost like Christmas, if you will, opening up your presents. You want to get that first hit, that RBI. Most importantly, though, you want to win the game there. You're going to have those same kind of butterflies that you had initially, but again, getting that first hit out of the way, and most importantly, like I said, winning the ball game.
Winning the ball game, and that's something they've done an awful lot at Citizens Bank Park over the last 5 seasons. In fact, it's part of the reason they've won division after division after division because of their record here at Rome.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 5 to be exact there. Again, when you play 500 baseball at home, and you should play better baseball at home there because you're in the friendly confines, so to speak, there. You got the home crowd behind you, therefore that adrenaline keeps flowing.
Well, here's hoping the adrenaline flows today. It's game 4 of the season, but game 1 here at Citizens Bank Park. Tom, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. There's Cole Hamels walking in from the bullpen, getting a chance to start this home opener here at Citizens Bank Park. It's game number 1 against the Florida Marlins. He'll be opposed by Anibal Sanchez. And oh yeah, it's the Miami Marlins. Sanchez making his first start of the 2012 season. They're the new look Miami Marlins, and it includes Jose Reyes as their leadoff guy, Ozzie Guillen as their manager. The lineups and first pitch for today's game when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. When you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. By Citizens Bank, where for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Xfinity, only from Comcast, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. Pittsburgh Pirates, they are hoping to clear the slate this afternoon with Cole Hamels on the mound, getting a chance to face the Miami Marlins. That's right, for the first time, the Miami Marlins, who opened the season at home for one game and then went on the road to Cincinnati, where they had some trouble with the Cincinnati Reds. And Cole has been waiting for this opportunity for the last handful of days, and I'm sure he is excited about the chance to pitch in front of the home crowd today. Let's take a look at the Marlins starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. They had a late change to the middle of their lineup, but it's Reyes, Bonifacio, and Ramirez, followed by Sanchez, Kearns, and Coghlan. Infante, Buck, and Sanchez, those are the bottom three hitters in the order this afternoon, and they will face left-hander Cole Hamels, who is coming off a year in which he won 14 games, Wheels, and you know what? It could have been more. He didn't get a whole lot of run support.
Absolutely, Tom. He was one of the pitchers on the staff that they really didn't hit a whole lot for. But look at those tremendous numbers. Just missed 200 strikeouts. Two of his teammates had over 200 strikeouts last year in Roy Halladay and, of course, Cliff Lee. Tremendous numbers for Hamels. Here's a scouting report on him with his fastball. That cutter has become so important to him. In his last 4 games against the Fish, 4-0 with a 1.90 earned run average.
Well, he's finished up his warm-up tosses. We are ready to go. Bright, sunshiny afternoon. And look at the jersey of Cole Hamels. That's the kind of wind the players will have to deal with today for this opening day. A packed house here at Citizens Bank Park. See the flags out in center field. And the first pitch of the day against Jose Reyes, taken low. So we're underway, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Any ball in the air today is really going to be an adventure, and you have a feeling there'll be some misplays out there because they're not going to be able to help it.
Reyes signed this offseason to a 6-year contract. So far, a .278 hitter with no home runs and an RBI. He does have a double and a triple and has stolen a base so far.
He should be a great addition for them if they can keep him healthy, and that's been the only thing that has set Reyes back in his career, and brain cramps when he plays the game too, because he doesn't concentrate real well out there.
2 balls and 1 strike the count to Reyes. Good changeup way out in front. It's 2-2. Reyes last year won the National League batting title with a .337 average.
Here he comes from behind with a 2-1 changeup and gets him way out in front, swings and misses. Another great weapon for Cole Hamels.
Opposite way, base hit for Reyes. So he flares one into right, and he's aboard to start the first.
Made a mistake, it looked like, with a high fastball. He was really out of the strike zone. He still hit it hard. Here are our Nissan keys to this afternoon's game as Charlie Manuel looks on. Well, it's opening day, so everybody relax out there and have a little fun. And the new look Marlins, well, sort of. There are still a lot of familiar faces on this baseball team that the Phillies have seen for quite a few years.
Of course, their first-year manager, Ozzie Guillen, over from the Chicago White Sox. Here's Emilio Bonifacio, who had a good year last year, and now batting second for the Marlins. And he takes the first pitch for a strike.
He'll give Reyes a chance to run because he'll take pitches. Now the papers are swirling all over the place, and we just got started. It'd be a good day if people could keep the hot dog wrappers and roll them up.
That's going to be hard to do that. Bonifacio hitting .333 so far. Hits that one toward the hole, and that's going to sneak into left field, a base hit. And the Marlins right out of the chute have two batters on back-to-back singles. Neither one hit particularly hard.
Well, you're cheating for the double play there after Reyes gets on it. That's a routine ground ball out. Now they have tremendous speed on the bases with the heart of the order coming in.
Reyes and Bonifacio have combined to steal 4 bases so far this year. And here's Hanley Ramirez, who's a big story for the Marlins this year. Not because he's 2 for 15, but because he's making the shift from shortstop to third base. And he did that to open the door for Reyes to come to Miami. Missed a lot of last year with a bad shoulder. And he takes a strike at a fastball, and it's 0-1.
Phillies are short in the bullpen today with guys that just can't go because they pitched so much the last couple of days. They didn't know about Qual, so the last thing they need is Hamels to get involved in a game where he throws a lot of pitches early.
Middle infield is at double play depth. Runners lead off. There they go. Pitches, check swing, and a strike to throw to third. Not in time. Polanco's thinking, wait a minute. He slid right into the tag. It's a double steal, and the Marlins have runners on second and third.
Well, even with nobody out, they go double steal here. This is all up to Reyes because the trail man is just Bonifacio.
Oh, he got there.
Yep, got his hand in.
By the way, they've called that a ball, so I thought that he went around on the check. You see the throw again by Carlos Ruiz. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
No,
nope,
it's a strike.
now it's no balls and 2 strikes. They appealed to the first base umpire, and he said it was a strike. Chris Luciano, the home plate umpire, originally said it was 1-1. So now the infield back with the count 0-2. Little chopper that'll score a run. That'll be a tough play. Galvis charges, off balance throw in time. It's an RBI and a ground out. 1-0 Marlins. And over to third goes Bonifacio.
That's a great out for the Marlins, as it turns out, because they get a run, they get a guy over. There was a day when Hanley Ramirez would have beaten that thing out. Nice play by Freddie Galvis. This had trouble written all over it. He had to do everything perfectly here. He gets no help either because the ball stays on the ground. You know, a big hop come up to him, be a lot easier to play, and that play is really close.
Maybe about half a step.
Out. Yeah. Ramirez called himself safe, but he doesn't count.
Here's Gabby Sanchez. Sanchez was the number 5 hitter when we arrived at the ballpark today, but Mike Stanton, now known as Giancarlo Stanton, has come up with a sore left knee, so they scratched him and moved Sanchez up to the cleanup spot.
I think they could cheat in the outfield a little bit too because the wind is blowing a ton from left to right.
Victorino has in center. Pierre not as much in left.
Hamels really after a strikeout right now and see if he can limit this to 1.
Sanchez last year hit .266 with 19 home runs. He gets that one off his foot. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sanchez was an all-star last year. He had a very good first half. Did not have as good a second half. Pitches .225 with 6 home runs. The crowd starts to make a little noise with the count 1-2.
see if he goes changeup on him, tries to get the strikeout. Cutter. That was a changeup. Just it was one of his changeups that comes in. He throws two different changeups. One will go away, down and away. Another one will come into right-handed hitters. Good play by Carlos.
Two and two the count to Sanchez. Got him. Went upstairs with what looked like a cutter. And it's the first strikeout of the day for Hamels.
Well, Carlos Ruiz put down two. And that would be, you know, for a lot of pitchers that means slider, but evidently for Hamels that means cutter, because that's what it was. It hung out over the plate a little bit. It's not exactly where he wanted, but very effective.
So two away with a runner at third. Now Austin Kearns making his first start of the year. 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter. Kearns back in the National League after last year and the year before being in the American League. And he takes inside. It's 1-0.
Every pitcher has different signs. Sometimes two's a curveball. But normally the waggle, when they waggle those fingers, that's going to be a changeup.
There's three. This might be a curveball. Nope. It's a cutter. That's 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's interesting. He did it twice. 2 and a 3.
Kearns last year with Cleveland hit 200 with 2 home runs.
That looked like a wiggle.
And it was. It was a changeup. 1-2.
I think Carlos took a long time looking up at Kearns too to make sure he wasn't peeking, and then put the little wiggle down real fast.
Well, Bonifacio still over at third. The Marlins have scored a run, and Hamels is trying to keep it at that. One ball, 2 strikes the count. Now he steps off. Charlie Manuel talking over some things with Pete Buchanan, his bench coach. The 1-2 pitch. Got him. Change up, swung on and missed. And Hamels is able to quiet the Marlins after they scored the game's first run. They leave one over at third, middle of the first. Marlins 1, and the Phillies coming up. Because they've been ahead the last few games 1-0, and they've only won one of those 3 ball games. Let's take a look at Charlie's starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off in left field is Juan Pierre. Placido Polanco bats second. Jimmy Rollins third, then Hunter Pence and Shane Victorino. John Mayberry makes the start at first base, in the bottom third of Ruiz, Galvis, and Cole Hamels. And they will face right-hander Anibal Sanchez, who didn't pitch a whole lot during spring training, but did win the 5th spot in the rotation.
This guy can be an enigma. He has tremendous stuff. You see his numbers last year. He went almost 2 months without a win, even though he didn't pitch all that badly. He had 202 strikeouts. He had more strikeouts than innings pitched.
Well, Juan Pierre leads it off, and he takes low. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Here's our scouting report on him. And Sanchez is a guy who has a no-hitter and 3 one-hitters. in his major league career. So just those numbers alone make you realize how formidable he can be. And then other games, they say he'll just drive you crazy. He'll go out and he'll walk the ballpark and have no clue.
There's the first strike against Juan Pierre. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Pierre so far 2 for 5. Former Florida Marlins. Been 3 years with the Marlins. Hits that one hard but foul.
Now you may see them test a guy like Pierre. Now he's not going to do it, but you may see him test Ramirez, because Ramirez is a shortstop learning to play third base. He's very athletic, but he's still not a third baseman.
Well, you see Juan Pierre is among the leaders at batting average in Florida's history.
Cabrera's off to a slow start in the American League. He only has 8 RBIs already. Think about that ball he took off his eye against the Phillies in spring training, and he's back like nothing happened to him.
Opposite way, Coughlin, the left fielder, will make the catch. It might be an adventure out there for a lot of the outfielders, just because of the way the wind is blowing, as we showed you before, blowing from left to right, but it's whipping the ball around. Raul Ibanez used to say that it used to swirl down on the field, but the flags really didn't tell the story.
Well, watching the rappers out there, they're going every which way. The ball that is going to be the tough one is the one that's hit high in the air and has a lot of time to float around. That one was on the line to him.
Here's Placido Polanco. And Polanco with 2 hits so far this year. Overall hitting .222. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Good luck at McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Roger Dill of Cinnaminson. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, and Roger will win $100. Phillies as a team have 1 home run. That came yesterday, a long one by Hunter Pence. Right now the Phillies as a team hitting just .204 after the first 3 games. Grounder back toward the middle. Reyes to his left is there. And there are 2 outs. So 2 away. And they'll bring Jimmy Rollins to the plate. Tomey got a nice round of applause today, as did Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy so far 2 for 12 to begin the year. And he takes strike 1. Back toward the middle, a base hit for Rollins. That was a curved ball that he followed all the way and is able to get the Phillies' first hit of the day.
And Sanchez likes his curveball. We've seen him so much over the years. It's a pitch that's very effective for him when it's on. Both he and Ricky Nolasco, another one of their starters, throw a lot of curveballs. There it is. And it caught the middle of the plate. As Tom said, good timing there by Jimmy to wait back on it and hit it back through the middle, give him base runner.
So with 2 outs and a runner at first, Hunter Pence is the hitter. Pence with 3 runs batted in. And the throw over. Rollins has not attempted a steal this year.
Sanchez last year, the teams ran on him. Ran on him 17 times, successful 15 out of 17.
He's pretty slow. You can see how he, when he raises his leg and comes to the plate.
And that breaking ball too, if you run on that slow curveball.
He has not had a lot of success here at this ballpark during his career. In 10 starts at Citizens Bank Park, he's 1-6 with an earned run average of 6.58.
5 starts against the Phils last year, was 0-1.
There goes Rollins. Pitch is taken for a strike. The throw nowhere near in time, and Rollins is safe at second.
Yeah, John Buck had no shot there. Even though he had a fastball to throw, he threw from, I don't know if he was on his knees or from a crouch, but he didn't even stand up. Jimmy got a really good jump off and full speed, straight steal. And here's Buck. Yeah, he threw from one knee.
So a runner in scoring position. The Phillies, let's see if they can capitalize. They're 4 for 20 so far in 3 games with runners in scoring position.
Really playing Pence the other way, like they're going to pitch him away, play him away. Big gap in left center field. And you see all that room that he has if he were to pull the ball. That's where he hit his home run yesterday, to left center.
Ozzie Guillen's first year in the National League as a manager. He's got some holdovers from the previous staff, but he brought with him Joey Cora, his bench coach from the White Sox, to be his bench coach here. Pickoff play is on. Rollins just barely got that leg back in. Ooh. Anytime I see that, I think about that day up at Shea where he turned his ankle on that same play.
Yeah, and it's because you get surprised by it, and he certainly does not expect it. They saw him dancing around a little bit out there about maybe thinking about stealing third, and you see how awkwardly he goes back into the bag because he was surprised. That was a very good timing play that the Marlins put on there and almost got him.
3 balls, 2 strikes, the count. Little pop up toward right center field. Infante going out, and he got there. You never know with the wind today whether the outfielders are going to be able to make that kind of play or the infielders going to make that kind of play. Phillies leave one in scoring position. On to the second. 1-0 Marlins. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Phillies game out of market, live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Phillies.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Top of the second, 1-0 Marlins. Chris Coughlin will lead it off, former National League Rookie of the Year, who hasn't been the same player since he was the National League Rookie of the Year. Takes a changeup on the inside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. Coughlin's hitting .200 this year. He was not in the original starting lineup.
Yeah, Coughlin's done some minor league time after being Rookie of the Year. This guy, couldn't get him out when he first came up. He seemed like he was almost automatic to get a hit or two against you. And all over the place. Hard ground balls, line drives. And I guess the league caught up to him.
And nearly had him going fishing there, so it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Cole tried a curveball that time. He's throwing mostly fastballs, cutters, changeups. Went with a curveball, a left-handed hitter. changeup.
On the hands, he fouls it away. It remains 1-2. When Coughlin won the Rookie of the Year, he had 321 back in 09. He had 9 home runs and 47 runs batted in. He had 162 hits that year.
A lot of multi-hit games. He wouldn't just get one, he'd get 2 a lot of games.
Well, he didn't come up to the big leagues until the 8th of May. Started the year in AAA. Then he followed that up with a 268 campaign in just 91 games because of a knee injury in 2010. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Hamels. Swing and a miss. He got him on a changeup. Ruiz flips to first cleanly. 3 straight strikeouts for Hamels. Yeah, there's one away here in the second. And speaking of pretty good pitches this afternoon, Greg Murphy is with a special guest.
Yeah, that's right, T-Mac. You know, one of the best moments for any opening day is that ceremonial first pitch, and doing the honors today was this young lady, Elena Delle Donne, the All-American from the University of Delaware. Tell us, how did this happen? You just finished up a terrific season, and here you are throwing out the first pitch.
I'm sure you've probably heard of John Kruk. Well, during the NCAA tournament, he reached out to me through Twitter, said my story was inspirational, and we became friends, would text back and forth. And about a week and a half ago, he said, "Do you have any interest throwing the first pitch at the Phillies home opener?" And I said, "Of course," and he just made it happen ever since.
And we're taking a look at it right now. Pretty good form. And I asked you how it went, and you said what?
It was a little uncomfortable, you know. I was out of my element, not on a basketball court, and definitely should stick to basketball, but I had a lot of fun out there.
Well, the good news is you got it there in the air. That's the most important thing. You just finished up a season where you led the nation in scoring as you head into your senior year. A line drive right there by Plaza to Polanco for the out. As you head into your senior year, you got to be pretty excited about where the Blue Hens are.
Yeah, we're thrilled at where we are. We have all of our starters returning next season, and we want to get into that NCAA tournament and get further this time. You know, we exited a little too soon.
All right, well, good luck to you. Enjoy the game with your family. Elena Delle Donne, the All-American from the University of Delaware, throwing out the first pitch. Guys?
All right, Murph, thank you very much. Yeah, she is a tremendous story. Began her collegiate career at UConn and then came home. You saw her sister next to her as John Buck rifles that one foul.
And Infante hit a little humpback liner right there to Placido Polanco. Looked like it was hit a lot harder off the bat, and then it turned out to not be hit that hard.
0-1 the count to Buck. The change up, 0-2. Anyway, we saw Elena's sister sitting next to her. She came back to the University of Delaware to be closer to her family, closer to her sister, and it's been great for everybody involved. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. 4 strikeouts for Cole Hamels. He's retired 6 straight. He is finding his groove here on opening day at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies down 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the second. talk of Philly sports on Daily News Live. Tonight at 5, only on Comcast Sports Network. Phillies, of course, were in Pittsburgh this past weekend. So were the Flyers. It made for a very festive city, at least if you were a Philly fan. And I guess for the merchants of Pittsburgh, not so much for the folks from Pittsburgh. Everywhere you went, you saw Phillies fans, and everywhere you went, you heard Pittsburgh folks say, man, there are too many Phillies fans out here.
Yeah, it certainly helped their local economy and certainly helped the state treasury, the Commonwealth treasury.
Now we start the bottom of the second. Phillies trail at 1-0. Shane Victorino is the batter. 3 for 10 on the season. Victorino has been part of all 4 lineups so far for the Phillies. All 4 different lineups for the Phillies to start the year. Little number up the first base side, picked up by Sanchez, flipped to Sanchez, who honestly turned his head, I think, before he even caught the ball to look at the bat. 3-1 on the putout.
Well, that was a strange play because what they want, the pitcher wants to get there really fast, be under control, and then get the flip. In this case, Sanchez gave him the flip early, so now he's looking for the bag. See right here? Now look how much. See, he was not under control when he got it. He didn't know where the bag was, so then he had to start looking for it. Ideally, he wants to be there, and then the ball come towards him.
A lot of times when a pitcher does that, they drop the ball.
Oh, yeah, because there's a lot going on, you know, trying to catch it and find the bag at the same time, and you had a fast runner.
That'll bring John Mayberry to the plate. Mayberry 2 for 8 so far. He played in 2 of the 3 games as a starter. Played in all 3 as he came in as a defensive replacement late yesterday. No appeal on that check, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Mayberry is one of 4 different starting first basemen for the Phillies to begin the season. Now we expected that there would be an open door over at first base. A revolving door. That's the word I was looking for,
You were looking
Wills.
for it and you had it. That's the word, revolving.
That is until Ryan Howard comes back. Ryan was taking ground balls today.
Well, the last time the Phillies had, as he's called out on strikes, had 3 different first basemen to start the season. Was 77 and Willie Montanez. Who was it? Tommy Hunt?
Willie Montanez.
Willie Montanez.
Yeah.
One couldn't have been 77 though. He thinks that's low, and he has a point. Willie Montanez was gone by that, so I don't know.
That was Tommy Hutton telling the story, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Hutt was definitely one of them. Dane Orge was one, and I can't remember who the third one was.
Chris Guccione behind the plate today. Tim Cheetah is the crew chief. He's over at first. Jeff Nelson and Bill Welke. Those are the arbiters for this afternoon's game. Carlos Ruiz is 4 for 6 to begin the year. And he's down to the count 0-2.
Well, their spray charts really have him as an opposite field hitter. Bonifacio way over in right center.
Fly ball, shallow right. Austin Kearns is there. Turns out to be an easy inning for Anibal Sanchez. 1, 2, 3 go the Phillies. 2 in the books here in Philadelphia. Opening day at Citizens Bank Park. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. Wills, the question is, name the Phillies relief pitcher to get the last Phillies win at Veterans Stadium and the first at Citizens Bank Park. The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Some of our nation's servicemen and women getting a chance to enjoy opening day here at Citizens Bank Park.
And they were holding a huge American flag out there in center
It was a big
field.
one.
And that had to be a challenge to them. The wind was really blowing that thing. Looked great, though, the way it would ripple. Sure, it was great for us, not so hot for them.
Sanchez leads it off, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to him. Sanchez, a 123 hitter last year. 9 sacrifice bunts.
Wind got him just as Cole Hamels was ready to deliver that pitch, and the wind disrupted it.
Well, the conditions today, windy, 62 degrees. Some reports say the winds are going to be near 40 miles an hour today.
Yeah, that's what Mike Stiles sent us on his little weather report. Phillies Vice President Mike Stiles said gusts could be 40 miles per hour this afternoon.
Ground ball to third. That's a fair ball. Strange hop for Polanco. Ooh, nice play by Mayberry. That's not an easy pick for a first baseman. You got to stretch and then keep your eye on the ball. One away.
Yeah, he really saved it there. That you know, don't know where that ball could have gone afterwards too. Galvis was over there to back it up, but it could have bounced anywhere and turned into 2. Took a long hop at least, and he was able to read it, but still not an easy play.
Right in the palm of the glove.
Yeah, that had a heck of a chance to rattle around and come out.
So 1 away, top of the order. Here's Reyes. And he bunts. Ruiz on it quickly. Has to get it there quickly and does. Boy, Reyes was nowhere near the baseline. 2-3 on the putout, and Carlos makes a fantastic play.
And good showing. The home plate umpire was out there watching the whole thing, so it'd been interesting if he'd have hit him with that throw, what he would have done. He was in good position to see if, in fact, he was way out of the baseline, as Tom says, and the ball had hit him and called him out. Here it is right there. Look where he's running. I mean, he doesn't hit dirt till he ran out of grass. That would have had to be interference there if he'd have hit him with that.
I would think there would have been an argument.
Oh, man, that far out.
Interference, of course, if the runner is in the way. Obstruction if the fielder is in the way. Emilio Bonifacio with all kinds of rosin on his helmet. Down to the count 0-1. Not sure how much rosin you're going to need this afternoon.
Yeah, that's just a shtick for him. So you'll say, there's Emilio Bonifacio with all that rosin on his helmet.
You think he did that for me to say it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, why else would you do that except to be noticed?
It's a lot of rosin. 1-2 the count. And a call. Strike 3. No chance. 5 strikeouts for Hamels. 9 in a row retired since the base hit by Bonifacio. 2.5 in the books. Phil's looking for some offense. Studios. By W.B. Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Toyota. When you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. Folks settling in. Phillies down 1-0. Freddie Galvis leads it off. 0 for 10 to start his big league career. And he's down to the count. No balls and 1 strike.
Just want to save it to get in front of the home crowd.
I think it's also a pretty good thing that Charlie giving him a chance to start again today. Not that he would make a change this quickly, because let's face it, Galvis' defense has been really good.
Yeah, and he's not the only one not hitting.
Right.
You're not going to penalize him for not swinging the bat. The defense he gives you.
And he's rung up on strikes on the outside corner. Second strikeout for Sanchez. And 1 away here in the third. Anibal Sanchez, the 5th starter for the Marlins. Ozzie Guillen, the manager, named him the 5th starter toward the end of spring training. And Ozzie, well, he certainly has personality. Left the White Sox, where he won a world championship, 679 wins. The 5th manager in Major League Baseball history to be acquired in a trade. And Cole Hamels takes a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. And he's always been a lightning rod, and he's, well, let's face it, he's still a lightning rod. In fact, he's got himself in a little bit of hot water because of his comments to a Time magazine reporter about Fidel Castro. Now, he allegedly said that he has a lot of respect for Fidel Castro, the former dictator of Cuba. He said, you know why? A lot of people have wanted to kill Castro over the last 60 years, but he's still here. Now, Ozzie is going to fly back to Miami after today's ball game, and he is going to address the media and is going to address the folks from Miami as Hamels takes a strike on the outside corner for the second out. And the third strikeout for Sanchez.
He needs to walk that one back, because he really,
I guess that's
really
what he's
stepped
saying.
in it this time. Ozzie doesn't have a censor. It's one of the delightful parts of his personality, especially for the media, is he just says stuff, and they love to write it and cause controversy. But you don't do that. Say those kind of things the way it came out, especially about Castro in Miami, where there's such a huge Cuban population, and a guy like Castro just ruined so many lives.
Yeah, and he said before the ball game, he met with the media for a little bit before the game. He didn't want to talk too much because he wanted to talk eye to eye, face to face with folks tomorrow in Miami. But he said he was sad, embarrassed, and even guilty for the comments that have been attributed to him.
Well, I'm sure that they have really gotten to him and said, you have to walk this back, and not the way you normally do things. You have to eat some serious crow here, and we have to try and get this behind us, because a lot of our fan base in the Miami area is Hispanic and Cuban. Just, we'll be interested to see where this goes, because they're not going to let up on it.
Pierre fouls it away. It remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Nowadays, when things used to have, like a 24-hour news cycle,
sometimes they're not picked up for 24 hours, and then they have a life of their own.
Now it's just never ending. In this case, he deserves to be in some hot water, and he knows it.
Sure. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Pierre. Another ground to second base. Omar Infante is there. Phillies go down in order for the second consecutive inning. They've managed to hit through the first 3. We go to the 4th here at Philadelphia with Anibal Sanchez and the Marlins on top, 1-0. Mountain Coffee. K-Cups delivered in all the flavors you love. By who but W.B. Mason? Top of the fourth inning. Marlins up 1-0 on a cool afternoon. Still warm because it's opening day. In fact, last night I got back to the ballpark here about 11:30 last night on the way back from Pittsburgh, and there were folks camped out outside to purchase standing room only tickets for the home opener. As Hanley Ramirez takes a strike, it's 0-1. And then this morning, I got here about 7:30 or so, and the line, I mean, it was stretching all the way down toward McFadden's, past the Phillies offices. Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, opening day's big deal.
Towering fly ball deep to left, and it should stay foul, and does. And it's 0-2. Well, fans, next time you want to catch a Phils game, head to StubHub, where you'll find the seats you want and the freedom to choose where you want to sit. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Phillies. 0-2 the count to Ramirez. First souvenir for the Hall of Fame club up in front of us.
This guy's going to be one of the better hitters in the game before it's all said and done. He's a young hitter. He's hit 300 before. See all the pine tar there that he has on that helmet. You can tell he had that last year.
Last year, where he only played 92 games because of his shoulders.
Come on.
Hamels wanted that pitch. In fact, the home plate umpire, Chris Guccione, has called that pitch a strike a couple of different times.
Yeah, it's called that low pitch, as Charlie's demonstrated how you load up to be able to hit a baseball.
Cutter inside, 2-2, or should say changeup, 2-2.
I'll tell you, right before he was getting ready to pitch, it was like a little piece of paper that was actually blowing by. I would have had to call timeout. You see that when you're up there as a hitter. Obviously, it didn't bother Ramirez.
If you had to call timeout every time you saw a wrapper, Sarge, your games in San Francisco would have taken a day and a half.
Only in front of the plate. Yeah, when it's blowing up there in front of the plate, then it's white. You don't want to be looking at two things coming in there. You might swing at the wrong one.
Let's hope Hanley Ramirez swings and misses at both white things coming at him. Up high, 3-2. The baseball and the wrapper.
Well, moving over to third base, he'll be in that third spot in the lineup. That's kind of like throwing him a bone and Ozzie letting him know that he's the best hitter on the team, putting responsibility on him, hitting in the third spot, and you have responsibility there.
Line drive, that's going to be an extra base hit. Pierre will try to cut it off and does. Ramirez on his way to second, and the throw off to the cutoff, not in time.
Yeah, it's automatic double. It's going to take two throws once it gets into left field. Juan Pierre doesn't have the best of arms. He did get it to him in a good way, but Ramirez just too fast there. That ball was hammered as he hit it into left field. Take a look at it, foot down, line drive, and he hooked it right into left field. You'll see Juan coming there in your picture. By then, it's too late.
So the leadoff batter is aboard in a 1-0 game. Here's Gabby Sanchez. He struck out his first time up. Takes a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Hamels last year in 6 starts against the Marlins was 4-0 with an earned run average of 1.90. He's hit 50 pitches now in the 4th inning. Late swing, it's 0-2.
He's getting a lot of the hitters who swing at that ball that's out of the zone. Well, obviously looking for a strikeout here so you don't advance the runner over to third base.
And he's already struck out 5 in the game.
He's got a good change.
Sanchez.
Sorry, Tom. He's got a good changeup. Been getting those guys out on that.
Here's Vance Worley. He pitched well yesterday. He wound up going 6 innings. Phillies offense didn't back him with a whole lot, so he had to be lifted for a pinch hitter in the top of the 7th. He could have gone even farther.
I thought he pitched a real good game.
Sure did. Opposite way, base hit for Sanchez. That's going to score another run. Ramirez will score easily from second. Sanchez with an RBI single, and it's 2-0 Florida.
That's just a bonus, hitting that ball and then finding a hole, driving in a run to right field. There's Gabby actually going that way, it seemed like all the way. Take a look at it, see where that is. See what I mean? He was just focused, head right down, going that way. Bad angle going that way toward right field. Easy for Ramirez to come in and score. You don't want these guys get too far out ahead of you, because they start doing all kind of different antics out there. And tell you, they got a pretty good hitting ball club. I mean, let's face it. One of the young stars, Stanton, obviously not in the lineup, but they're a pretty good play. They're a pretty good team, hitting wise, that is.
Well, here's Austin Kearns. Kearns struck out his last time up, and he takes high. 2 balls and no strikes.
I don't want to get discouraged. Get that ground ball and see if you can get out of the inning.
He's taken all the way, 3-0. And it's 3-1.
There's that paper, little napkin I was talking about, Tom. They'll put that right into the pocket. But you're right, when the wind blows, you're going to have different wrappers flying around all day.
Now it's 3-2. As Kearns fouls it away. Phillies starters so far coming into this ball game had allowed just 2 earned runs in 20 innings of work. Counting the 2 runs today, it's 4 earned runs in 23 innings. Staff ERA was second only to the Astros after the first weekend of the season. Runner doesn't go. 3-2 and a call. Strike 3. Right on the inside part of the plate. A beautiful changeup from Hamels. 6 strikeouts.
Kearns looking for that ball. You can tell on the outside part of the plate, ball looked like it came inside, and it did. Just froze him. It's a good pitch there. I tell you, that's some of the difference in Cole in the way that he pitches. Everything is an all maximum effort where you're just throwing everything hard. He's nibbling here, there. More importantly, though, he has command over a lot of those pitches.
And now Coughlin, who struck out swinging his first time up, did foul a few pitches off. Again, a ground ball can get Hamels out of this 4th inning. He's given up a run, but he has struck out 6 through the first 3 and a third. Talk about rookies of the year who follow their seasons up and aren't the same player. This guy is a great indication of that. There are others. Eric Hinsky's one. Todd Hollinsworth is another. Guys who are National League Rookies of the Year or American League Rookies of the Year, and they just weren't the same player after that first season. Unlike you.
Well, you don't know what the reason is other than you just didn't have a good year that particular year. But you know, I mean, when you're playing the game, you feel every year you want to try and obviously do your best. But just knowing that you're going to be in that lineup gives you a certain kind of security where you know you'll be able to come out of whatever slumps that you're in.
Well, Coghlan, of course, is not an everyday player here with the Marlins because their everyday outfield is usually Logan Morrison, Emilio Bonifacio, Giancarlo Stanton.
And Greg Dobbs, who had an extremely good year last year, cut into his playing time. As long as Ramirez is healthy, probably won't be playing third base very much. A day off here or there.
One and two the count to Coghlan.
It's a good pitch. Just move him off the plate a little bit. He can come up high with a fastball if you like, and throw that breaking ball maybe down and away to get him to fish at it.
Ooh. I guess it was low. It's 3-2.
Really surprised that he didn't swing at it because that pitch has been called just about all day here today.
It's a strike.
It's a good pitch.
Runner doesn't go again. 3-2. Sliced foul.
And a great catch by a Philly fan, one-handing it.
Charlie Manuel talking to the big piece of the dugout. Good to see Ryan taking some ground balls today as he continues to progress his rehab.
It's actually kind of jogging out there a little bit.
Good.
He looked pretty good.
Can't get him back soon enough. 3-2. Ground ball towards shortstop. Might not be hit hard enough for two. Galvis's exchange in time. 6-4-3 double play. Hamels allows a run, but then is able to get out of it without allowing any more. The defense behind the Phils looking pretty good during the outset. Get to a Nissan dealer for great deals on innovation you can count on. Innovation for all. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. And by McDonald's. Get a large sweet tea for $1. Here we go. Bottom of the fourth. Phillies down 2-0. Looking to get something going offensively.
Well, again, just not hitting the ball hard enough for me. I mean, we've had a few balls that have been hit hard. When you look at the opposition, I mean, you can count 3 or 4 or 5 balls that have been hard. And what that does, too, it gives that pitcher to think about some things and location of his pitches. More importantly, though, base runners will make a pitcher nervous, maybe run into a mistake or so with a man on base to hit a ball in the gap if you can. You got to have base runners, though, for me, to be able to do that consistently anyway.
Back towards shortstop. Reyes is over a few steps. And Polanco's retired. What a way. Chicago Cubs will be here at Citizens Bank Park beginning Friday, April 27th at 7:05. It's a 4-game series. It includes the wraparound version on Monday the 30th. It's a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. Don't forget it's the Fanatics' birthday, brought to you by Citizens Bank on Sunday the 29th. Go to Phillies.com to check out that series and all the other promotions going on here at the ballpark. Fans who entered the ballpark today received the National League Eastern Division flag. A replica of that flag that is flying out in the left center field. A lot of flags out there now. So it's all of a sudden, bam. Rollins shows bunt, takes high, 2-0.
Let's get some of those balls up into that right field win. And look at all.
Got the 07 division, the World Championship, the National League pennant in 2009, the division crowns in 10 and 11. Sanchez will take care of Rollins for the second out.
That ball was hit pretty hard, and again, it's just easy work though for Anibal Sanchez so far, getting his ground balls. Just haven't gotten him into trouble, maybe other than the first inning.
Well, here's Hunter Pence. He popped up his first time up. Takes a curve a little high.
You don't want guys to start pressing and thinking maybe they got to do too much. And once you start that, then it really does go bad for you.
Back toward the middle, a base hit for Pence. So the second hit of the day for the Phillies. Well, 3 games plus 4 innings, or almost 4 innings, doesn't make a season. But it'd be nice to break out just to, get the offense rolling again.
Yeah.
Like last year, the Phillies averaged a little more than 4 runs per game last year, 102 games. Does it seem to be that difficult, Sarge?
Well, I mean, that was, again, last year, and look who they had last year. Obviously, having Ryan Howard at first base helps because of that long ball, and Utley as well. This is altogether, a different team.
Juan Pierre came up with a 2-out, 2-strike base hit yesterday.
That was clutch.
It gave the Phillies a 4-1 lead. They wound up losing the ball game, though.
I still think, though, even though you're down, you got to still play your game, which means you got to run. That's a big part of the Fighting Phillies attack this year. Anibal, one of those kind of pitchers, pretty deliberate to the plate. If you get a good jump, you should be able to steal a bag. That bat very easy. That means he can take a larger lead.
This pitch count, he's about to throw his 50th pitch. It's 1 ball and no strikes to Victorino. 2 outs here at the bottom of the 4th.
It's one of those counts. It's a fastball count. I like this count to be able to run in, and you want that hitter, though, to be still aggressive. If it's a strike, go on and swing at it. Try and square it up. Maybe you can get a cheap run with the ball hit in the gap. Just want to try and make something happen.
Pence doesn't go. Pitches inside. It's 3-0.
Seems like a little different pitcher when you get runners on base. And obviously any pitcher will be a little bit nervous knowing you just can't make a bad pitch. Want to have guys on.
And ball 4. So the Phillies have 2 on for the first time today. A single by Pence, a walk by Victorino. And John Mayberry is going to be the hitter. Hey, you want to add to your Phillies game experience, Sarge? Pre-game party areas for groups of 20 or more are perfect for entertaining family, friends, or business associates. A variety of party areas to choose from. For more info, call 215-463-5000 or ask about pre-game parties at Citizens Bank Park or go to Phillies.com. We have visited those pre-game parties from time to time.
Yeah. If I'm Mayberry, I'm looking first pitch fastball, even though he threw balls wild in my zone, and I'm going to try and put a good swing on it.
That's a tough pitch.
Yeah, but bad balance too.
Yeah.
Oh, you could even if it had been almost down the middle with the way in his approach. Take a look and watch how off balance he is there. See what I'm saying? When you're like that, that's not a good approach going toward the ball there. You got to go more toward the ball.
Well, he pops it up to shallow right field. Here comes Austin Kearns. Phillies get a couple of base runners, but they leave two here in the fourth. No runs, one hit, two men left. We're through four here in Philadelphia with the Marlins on top 2-0. Walls is heading out to the Phillies bullpen. That's a good sign that he's out there and he's not walking with that much of a limp. Now, Chad could not pitch yesterday because he had a heel problem on his right foot. It happened before his outing on Saturday. He pitched Saturday but was unable to go yesterday. He thought he was able to go today, and we'll see if the Phillies can use him. Right now they trail at 2-0 as we go to the fifth. Omar Infante leads it off and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Chad is such a big part of the Phillies bullpen and threw very well on Saturday. Didn't even look like he had any heel problems.
No, sure didn't.
Let's hope he's okay. Infante skies one deep to left field. Pierre going back, wind and all. That one is gone. Wow. Omar Infante has homered for the second consecutive day, and it's 3-0 Miami. Well, I guess you can get it out of the yard today.
Well, when you hit that ball as hard as that ball was hit, even though that wind blowing would have went way out of the ballpark, but that ball was just juiced. That's what I'm talking about. When they get in the lead, they'll start doing all kind of different antics. Good swing, though. Check it out by Infante. That ball keeps going until it's gone. And that is against the wind.
John Buck takes a strike. It's 0-1. Hamels allowed 19 home runs last year, way less than the year before. Did a great job keeping the ball in the park. To the count.
I'm almost sure he thought he could challenge him with that wind. Usually it'll knock the ball down going into left field, but that one was just hit too hard.
Infante yesterday became the third Marlins hitter to fall short of the cycle by not having a single. Had a triple, double, and a home run.
All the hard things to get.
Marlins have never had a cycle.
Wow.
Yeah, surprising.
And you would think they would have, especially playing in that ballpark that's so big. I mean, it can give you that triple. I mean, right away.
Did Buck go? Yes, he did. Boy, that's a good call by Chris Guccione to ask for help. And Tim Cheetah, the first base umpire, immediately responded.
Yeah, thought that was a pretty good swing. Thought he did check swing on that particular ball. Good call there by a first base umpire there. You always like that. We got a few words here from Murph.
Yeah, that's right, Sarge. Well, you know, it is a day game, but all the stars are at Citizens Bank Park today. Like this guy, DJ Jazzy Jeff, the pride of West Philadelphia. And you were part of the pregame ceremonies outside here at Citizens Bank Park, were you not?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Just playing some music for everybody, you know, getting ready for, you know, opening day.
Getting ready for opening day. It is here, the home opener, and I know you are a huge Philadelphia sports fan. Now, you come out to a lot of games, not just when you're working, but you come out. So give us your assessment of this team and what you expect out of these guys going forward.
Well, I mean, definitely hurts with the injuries that we have. But, I mean, I really like the squad. I think I'm really happy Jim Thome came back. I like that because it kind of seems like he was the guy that kind of kick-started the whole thing. So I think once, you know, everybody comes back and we're extremely healthy, we're going to be really hard to beat.
Cole Hamels with another strikeout of Anibal Sanchez. And, you know, it's a great crowd. It always is here in Philadelphia. And like I said, you get out to a lot of games. How many games a year are you out to?
I try to come out about 10, 15 games. Try to slip in incognito because I'm a passionate fan and I really scream and yell and get into the game. So.
All right, well, now everybody knows you're here, so enjoy the rest of this one. DJ Jazzy Jeff is joining us. Guys, back to you.
All right, Murph, you know, it's easier for Jeff to get here now because his hair isn't as high as it used to be. You know, if it was as high as it used to be, it would be a little harder for him to slide in and out of the ballpark.
That is true. He's got it hidden under the hat, or he's got it cut nice and tight nowadays.
All right, Murph, we appreciate it.
Right.
2 outs here in the 5th, and Jose Reyes has the count 2 balls and no strikes.
How's he find all these people there in the stands? I mean, really?
It's got a map.
What do we got? Spies out there at people coming in the ballpark?
See, Hamels got blown off the mound again from that wind.
It's the worst thing pitchers hate. They don't mind pitching in cold weather, hot weather, but that wind is the one that gets them. Used to do that to Juan Marichal in San Francisco, literally blowing him back off of the mound. Surprised they wouldn't have a rule about that, though. If you're starting, maybe, and they wouldn't call a balk on you, you know, with that wind maybe blowing you off the mound.
Reyes lines it to left, and he's going to have an extra base hit. Pierre will play it off the wall. That's his second hit of the day. So a 2-out double. Well, if there was somebody on base and he started to the plate and got blown off the mound, well, then it's a balk.
Well, yes, it would have to be. Obviously, yeah.
The pitchers don't have any kind of infraction if they do it when nobody's on base.
Well, there's another ball that's squared up there by Reyes as he cruises in the second base. Don't know what that particular sign is. It looked like maybe it was a, I don't know, double or something. What do you think, Tom?
I'm not really sure. Here's Bonifacio he takes up high. Maybe he thought we were going to put the New York Life slogan up there, and that was some kind of a slogan for that.
You don't want to see those kind of acts. It's simple. You got to keep them off the base or just make sure that you have the lead.
1 ball, no strikes the count to Bonifacio.
But if I'm hitting third in the lineup, I'm liking those doubles. He can almost do whatever he wants. Well, but there's a way of just not showing up the opposition, too. And, again, you have different players, and Reyes is certainly a talent and a good player, leading the league and hitting last year. I just think for me, you could just tone it down a little bit. But, you know, again, I'm sure if you ask any of his teammates, they probably love it.
Would you want him on your team?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There he goes. Pitch is taken high. Throw to third is in time. And Reyes makes the last out over at third. But the Marlins do score a run on the home run by Omar Infante. Good job by Chooch making that throw over to third base. That was a heck of a throw. Right on line. Perfect spot. He got a good pitch to handle. Great release. Good tag by Polanco. And the Marlins are retired here in the fifth. Last of the fifth inning. Phils have to come from behind as Carlos Ruiz takes a strike. It's 0-1. It'll be Ruiz, Galvis, and Cole Hamels. 7, 8, 9 for the Phillies. Softly hit to second. Omar Infante is there. And there's one away. Well, tonight on Sports Night, get the latest news on the Phils, plus a breakdown of tomorrow's Sixers-Nets game and the Flyers' playoff matchup against the Penguins. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night tonight at 6 and 10, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Flyers will open up against the Penguins on Wednesday. Here's Freddie Galvis. Freddie 0 for 11. Struck out looking his first time up. Lifted in the air, left center field. Bonifacio is there. And there are 2 outs.
Wow.
So 2 away, and that'll bring Cole Hamels to the plate. I think you wish it on anybody that's a rookie to get your first major league hit in your first at bat.
Can't tell you
or
how
maybe
much.
Your second one.
Well, yeah, you want it out of the way. The longer it goes, the more you're thinking about it. And guess what? You'll start to have some sleepless nights. You can see he's not happy about that. He knows that he's a better hitter than what he's showing right now. But those are growing pains that you're going to have when you come to the major leagues. You know, when you're not an accomplished hitter, I tell you what, most of these pitchers, they can exploit any type of weakness. And this is what they're doing. They're making him hit a lot of hard stuff up in the zone.
There's a dribbler up the right side. Sanchez to Sanchez, and another easy inning for Anibal Sanchez. He retired the Phils in order. We've completed 5. Freddie Galvis is going to have to go back to work defensively with the Phils down 3. play manual. Since his arrival before the 2005 season, the skipper's message from the start has come across loud and clear. One at-bat, one inning, one game at a time. His troops have followed his lead to a world championship, 2 NL pennants, and a franchise-best 5 straight division titles. Charlie's resume and leadership speak for themselves, and they're brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. Well, Sarge, Tina Turner's in the house.
Oh, boy.
Little Philly fanatic has a new act. He and Matt Maller. Matt was dressed up as the umpire this afternoon. They're putting a little moves on out there.
I don't know where he comes up with some of these acts, but that's a new one.
I don't know who was jumping higher or moving faster, Matt or the fanatic.
Unbelievable.
Well, they did a great bit in between innings here at Citizens Bank Park. Rolling on the river with Tina Turner. There's Matt.
Oh, boy.
He's handing out roses to fans. Hey, honey, the umpire just gave me a flower. Now we move on to the top of the 6th inning. Marlins up 3-0. Emilio Bonifacio, Hanley Ramirez, Gabby Sanchez against Cole Hamels. Bonifacio tries to bunt his way on. Hamels, nice play, nobody's covering. Freddie Galvis had a brain cramp, and Bonifacio is going to fly over to third. Look at this throw by Pence, but it's nowhere near in time.
Wow.
This is not going to go over well. They're going to give the error to Hamels, but in all honesty,
wow,
he did everything he was supposed to do.
Well, you're right about that. I think you got to be able to read the ball, and I don't think for me, young Mayberry read the ball very well. Caught Galvis, I think, by surprise. No, and that ball was bunted. It was more bunted right back to the pitcher. So when you're seeing that, for me, at first base, you can stay there.
Okay.
Even though you start in, I think you can come back with the speed of Bonifacio right away. Hamels, he's not going to look. He's just going to go and throw as he's shaking his head like somebody should have been able to be there.
Yeah, I mean, we immediately say that it's Freddie Galvis that wasn't there to cover, but maybe, as you said, it's got to be, well, one of them has to be there to cover the bag.
Well, he's reading the play. The ball's right in front of him. You can't run with your...
Yeah, it should be Mayberry.
Yeah. You know, when you look and see where Galvis is playing now, if he pushes that ball where it's pushed very hard, well, again, Mayberry's coming at it, and then we'll pick it up. But look at that ball. It's bunted right there. He's still coming, and then he turns, and nobody is there. So to me, your first baseman, when he sees the ball that's bunted and it's back to the pitcher, he can retreat back to first base and be able to take the throw.
Well, now the infield is in with Hanley Ramirez, the batter. Ruiz thought about throwing behind the runner. It turns out to be a bunt single and an E1 to allow Bonifacio to get to third. Joe Savory's warming in the bullpen for the Phillies.
Man, that's a gift.
Here's Joe.
Well, you don't see that really very often.
No, you
There's
don't.
just no one there. And these are plays that you practice on during spring training to make sure that this just does not happen. Now Hamels feels that he's got to make perfect pitches in order to get out of this mess.
And you have two guys on the right side. You know, Mayberry is not a first baseman by professional trade. Galvis is not a second baseman by professional trade. So it's 4 different starting first basemen for the Phils in 4 days. There's a strike to Ramirez. Yesterday the Phillies had a gaffe at first with a throw where Ty Wigginton was covering. The throw was a little wide. Ty couldn't come up with it.
Yeah.
That opened the door for the Pirates to get back in the game.
Different ways you can look at that, where maybe his feet position, where if he has that left foot on the other side, might make it easier. But again, it doesn't matter what foot he uses. You got to be able to you got to be able to catch that ball, and whatever is your easiest way to do it, that's the way you have to do it.
And a Called strike 3 on the inside corner. 9 strikeouts for Hamels. Ramirez doesn't think so. Ozzie Guillen's coming out just to protect his player.
Boy, that's serious pitching right here. See where that pitch is as it comes in.
That's a strike.
Too close to take for me.
So 1 out. Sanchez, the batter, takes a strike. It's 0-1.
I think that's what he was complaining about, that he gave him a pitch on the outside part of the plate and then the inside. Strike is a strike, and the infield is in for the fighting fields, hoping that ball is either strike out or hit right to them. Oh, no.
Hamels took that walk around the mound after the error. Had a conversation with Rollins, composed himself, got the strikeout of Ramirez, and now it's 0-2 to Gabby Sanchez.
I want to go out of the zone here. Doesn't necessarily have to throw a strike. Another reason that starting pitching love to pitch to Carlos Ruiz. They know that they can throw that breaking ball. More than not, he's going to be able to block it. He's not afraid to call it.
Yep. 2-2.
Very important for that catcher and pitcher to be on the same page. Pitcher doesn't want to really just call his game. He wants that catcher to put down the fingers, and that's what he wants to throw.
All the way back in front of us. There remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, we've heard those boos before. Usually it comes where someone doesn't catch a ball.
I don't know if I would have tried to catch that one, though. That one was too close to the ledge.
No fair trying to catch the ball leaning over.
Ground ball toward third, a fair ball just inside the bag down the left field line. A run will score. Sanchez going to second. The throw by Pierre off the glove of Galvis. He wouldn't have gotten him anyway. It's an RBI double, and it's 4-0 Marlins.
Yeah, only way he gets him if he picks that ball up cleanly. He would have been able to get him as Charlie starts to come out of the dugout right now. And I can tell you this, just from being around Cole, not very happy. Not so much about his performance, but about just the way the game went in general.
Well, this is not the kind of opening day that Cole had envisioned. He strikes out 9 in this game.
I thought he had good stuff.
He did have good, he had a good changeup. So Cole gets a round of applause as he exits Citizens Bank Park. Folks over the Phillies dugout giving him a standing ovation. We have an AT&T call to the bullpen. Joe Sabry will make his 2012 debut in just a moment here at the ballpark. ballpark offers a variety of unique spaces and on-site catering available year-round for many types of functions. Take advantage of all the ballpark has to offer, from tours to Fanavision usage. Call the special events department at 215-218-5100 or go to Phillies.com/special events. 4-0 Marlins, top of the 6th. Joe Savory is the new pitcher for the Phillies. Welcome to 2012, Joe Savory. Those are his numbers last year.
Yep.
Had a pretty good spring. Comes in with a runner at second, and the first pitch to Kearns is taken low. Last year, Savory at this point was a hitter, playing first base.
And a pretty good hitter.
Ooh. And now a balk is called.
Yep.
Oh, no, it wasn't called. I'm sorry.
Did he step off?
He did step off. I thought, honestly, I heard balk down in the field, and I'm sure it was from the Marlins dugout. But I thought Savory leaned and then stepped off.
Well, they're looking right at him because you got to step off there before you actually end up running over and trying to get the run. If you don't, it's a balk.
Foul ball down the right field line. It's 2-1. Here's that play.
Take a look at it, and he did step off.
I think he's lucky, though, Sarge. I think his upper body was moving a little bit before he stepped off.
Well, he got that heel up, you know.
I
mean,
guess.
As long as you're able to get that foot off that mound. But I know what you're saying, that he was kind of leaning a little bit.
2-1 pitch. Hit toward third. Polanco stays down on it. Gets the runner back to second. And there are 2 outs.
I couldn't believe Gabby was actually getting ready to try and steal third base.
I think he startled everybody. Well, now 2 outs. Ruiz out to the mound to talk to Savory as Chris Coughlin is the hitter. Coughlin is 0 for 2. Grounded into a double play his last time up, struck out. See Savory's fastball at 91 miles an hour. As the story goes, last year in Clearwater, they had an extra inning game, kind of like the Phillies had here when Wilson Valdez pitched, and they needed some of the position players to pitch in and throw an inning or so. Well, Savory, they decided to move him back to the field where he was a very good hitter in college at Rice, but he was the #1 pick, and when he was #1 pick, they wanted him to be a pitcher. Anyway, that wasn't working out all that well. He wasn't throwing as hard as he did in college, so they moved him back to being a first baseman last year. As Coughlin hits it sharply. What a play by Galvis. From the knee, throws to first in time to retire the side. Boy, Freddie Galvis has some great hands over at second. A run does wind up scoring for the Marlins. And Joe Savory in his 2012 debut gets out of it as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Citizens Bank Park, beautiful ballpark, as everybody knows. Brand new playing field. Flowers are blooming. Fans are settling in. Opening day, game 1 of 3. Phillies have only 2 hits. That's part of the storyline this afternoon. It's been part of the storyline for the first 4 games. Sarge.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to square balls up the way we've normally seen them do. And again, you're going to have to get runners on base in order to put pressure on Anibal Sanchez. Other than that, he's just kind of cruising through like it's a walk in the park, so to speak.
Yeah, Cole Hamels lasted into the 6th. He struck out 9, and there were times where that changeup was really good this afternoon.
Oh, he had good stuff. He had great off-speed pitch today. Maybe could have spotted his fastball a little bit better, but again, he was just devastating with the off-speed stuff. You can't actually know exactly how he pitched because when the game is a little bit closer, you're scoring runs. That adrenaline gets to going a lot more than it would be in pitching where you're down by 4 runs.
Pierre sends it the opposite way, and he's retired. Sanchez has only allowed 1 hit since the first and 2 overall. And that'll bring Placido Polanco to the plate. Yeah, Hamels is charged with 5 1/3, 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned because of the play that occurred in the 6th inning where Bonifacio bunted. He was dead to rights at first, but nobody was covering first. Mayberry had gone away from the bag. Galvis wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
The more I think about it, I think you're right. I think it's more that John had to read that better and be over at first base.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that Galvis can be in that position, his position, and get over to first base on a runner like Bonifacio. He's just too fast.
Cole threw 96 pitches in 5 1/3. Polanco shows bunt, takes a strike. It's 2-1.
Surprise too. They haven't bunted on Ramirez since that is a new position. Certain things he's going to have to learn over at third base. He's a gifted athlete, being able to play shortstop the way that he does. Well, I should say did. Now that Reyes is there, you think Reyes is going to be there for a pretty long time. There's Ramirez.
Well, Sarge, they say the big thing with Ramirez is not the easy plays as you would expect. And they say Reyes has really helped him get kind of acclimated over there at third. They say the biggest thing are the instinctive plays, whether it be how to field a certain ball under pressure, where to go for the cutoff on certain plays.
Yeah, that's been one of the big problems, where to go on the cutoff, because you have different areas that you cover from shortstop or if you're playing third base.
Outside to Polanco, 3-2.
But he's an athlete. He'll learn that. I mean, he's just too good of a player not to, and he takes a lot of pride in this game.
Now Sanchez gets Polanco for the 2nd out. So 2 away here in the 6th. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer. Visit ChevyDealer.com. By Xfinity, only from Comcast, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. And by AT&T, rethink possible. 2 outs. Rollins the batter. 0-1 the count. Jimmy's 1 for 2.
The kind of way he can, walks, hits, doubles, anything to get on base.
Or singles.
That'll work.
2nd hit of the day for Rollins. Sarge, let me ask you a question. I know it's early. Would you think about moving him back to the leadoff spot?
I think Charlie is actually contemplating doing just that. You know, I still think you got to give him a little bit more. Other than that, who are you going to move there? I mean, you could move maybe Polanco there, I guess. Victorino had
to the
hit
3-hole,
there.
you mean?
Yeah, he had hit there during the course of spring training.
Swing and a miss by Pence. It's 0-1.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to just sit there and continue to have the offense sputter the way that it has. But you got to have 3 or 4 guys in that lineup that are hitting at the same time, and in order to make sure that you're going to win games, can't just be 1 or 2 unless maybe you're talking about the big piece of Ryan Howard. And I say that because Ryan hits the ball out of the ballpark. He gives you the single, the run scored, and the RBI with just 1 swing.
Jimmy just barely got back. He stole a base back in the first.
He kind of jumped off of that. Base stealers, they'll look at the heel as he gets back in, and boy, that was a lot closer than he wanted. But base stealers will look at the pitcher's heel on the mound to be able to get their jump. If he's coming over to first base, that heel has to come up in order for him to go to first. And Jimmy knows that he can probably steal the base if he gets his jump. Has a good lead at first base. And again, you got to continue to play your game.
And that was a balk by Sanchez. I don't know if he quick pitched Pence or what. The pitch doesn't count. Rollins is awarded at second. And it's no balls and 1 strike.
Let's take a look, see if we can see what he does. Oh, doesn't even pause. You got to sit there and then give him that pause and then go. That was almost as if he was kind of winding up, if you will, from the stretch.
So 0-1 the count. All right, see if you can count with the umpire. Ready? 1/1000, 2-1.
Now it's you know what, borderline. But the fact is, they do want them to pause. I've seen pitchers do that same exact thing, and they don't call it. So a lot has to do with the interpretation of that umpire on what he sees. Judgment call. Be big to pick this up.
They throw behind Rollins and he's back easily. Fly ball up center field. Playable for Bonifacio. It'll slice back to him with the wind. And the Phillies are retired here in the 6th. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We've played 6 here at Philadelphia with the Marlins shutting out the Phils 4-0.
Phillies out of here. That's one they'll never catch. I even love to do the seventh inning stretch. I want to tell everybody that I'm on my way. I'm going back to see the Phillies today.
Top of the seventh inning, Phillies down 4-0. Joe Savory will face the bottom of the order for the Marlins, and he throws a strike. Omar Infante homered his last time up. He's 1 for 2.
How hard must he hit that thing?
We were saying the same thing, and Sarge says, well, even on a windy day, if you square it up, think about where that ball would have gone if it was blown the other way.
Was it pretty high?
It was high.
And that's even more remarkable. I figure a line drive maybe, but not one hit way up in the air. He must have really crushed it. Cole Hamels pitched very, very good baseball here this afternoon, but you look up and it's 4-0.
Down the left field line, that's hooking, gone.
That's a line drive homer.
Yeah. I didn't think it was going to be high enough or stay high enough to get out of the yard. And it's 5-0 Marlins. Second home run and as many at bats for Infante. Third home run in 2 days.
He just hooks this ball. It was real low. And we'll go about row in. Yeah, 1 row, right?
First row. I didn't think it was going to stay up there long enough to get out of the park.
Yeah.
Now John Buck, as Infante's congratulated. Mentioned that he was part of a storyline yesterday that he finished a single away from the cycle. I don't think he's worried about that anymore.
And they need Savory to pitch a little bit because they're very short out in the bullpen. Plus they
Elvis knocks it down, still has time, throws out Buck. Tell you what, the kid can play second base. He can play shortstop, but he can really play second base.
Yeah, and he didn't panic either. He knows he has a catcher running there. Mentioned the bullpen is, they're short out there today with guys, and plus they're losing 5-0, so they really need Savory to give them some innings. This ball is hit really hard. Freddie knocks it down. And as I said, he doesn't panic. Look, he even got himself into perfect throwing position when he picked that up. He had his balance. Look at the, you can see it on the other replay, how good his balance was when he got to that thing. That's why he got so much on the throw, because he was able to plant.
Well, here's Sanchez. He struck out his last time up, 0 for 2. Chops one to shortstop. Rollins from back in shallow center field throws him out.
It's really not easy to time your throw like that when you're running away from a play with your back towards.
Well, he might be struggling at the plate, but he has not let it carry over to what he's done.
Well, he's exactly what they said he was. That he is an outstanding defensive player, that he's a very smart player, but he could struggle hitting in the major leagues, and that's what you have right now.
Here's Reyes, who has 2 hits today. Loops one, right side. Galvis on the run. So is Mayberry backing up. Makes the catch. Side is retired. Marlins do get a run on the home run by Infante, his second of the day. Savory takes us to the bottom of the 7th with the Marlins up 5-0. trivia quiz answer. Let's refresh your memory one more time. Name the Phillies relief pitcher to get the last Phillies win at Veterans Stadium and the first at Citizens Bank Park.
Well, now it's time for our first hint of the year.
Let's see. You talked about him earlier today off air.
Oh. Oh, yeah. I know who it is.
Who is it, Wheels?
That we were talking about sometimes when you open on the road. Is that your point?
Yes.
Open on the road and things don't go real well. You come back and you get booed when they announce
one of the best guys in the world.
It happened to Real Cormier.
That is correct.
He won the last game and the first, huh?
September 27th, then April 8th.
No idea if you hadn't said that.
Last win.
Yeah, no, the last win at the Vet and the first win here.
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stop the Fans.
Phillies got off to a terrible start that year, too. I remember then they were behind to the Reds in that game here and then came from behind and won it.
Well, they're going to have to come from behind here this afternoon. They trail at 5-0 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning.
That may have been the year that Cormier got booed, too, because we were in Florida for 3 games before coming home to open this stadium. It was opened in Pittsburgh that year, went to Florida for 3 games, and then came here, and we're like 1-5, 2-4. Oh, they got all over.
We've talked the last few days about being in PNC Park and how the Phillies have struggled their win-loss record.
Yeah, they lost 2 out of 3 that year.
1-2 the count to Victorino. And he stays alive by fouling it back.
Of course, back in those days, a lot more players got booed than get booed now.
Yeah. It has certainly been a very nice run for the ball club, obviously. Well, through all this, Sanchez has thrown a pretty good ball game. That was just his 85th pitch of the day.
Well, we talked about him at the beginning. The guy has a no-hitter and 3 one-hitters. So he's certainly more than capable of cranking up a gem. And the Phillies offense in struggle mode, obviously, here early in the season. And he's throwing everything well today. He's used his curveball, real good slider of the right-handed hitter's changeup, spotted his fastball.
Victorino hits it through the hole on the right side, so the Phillies have the leadoff batter aboard for the first time today.
4 singles so far. They just need put something together with some extra base hits, score some runs.
Well, these lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They will receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Delaware Valley. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. John Mayberry's 0 for 2. He struck out looking. He flied to right. Fouls it back, and it's 0-1. John did not have a particularly good spring, and he is 2 for 10 to start the year. He's trying to get his mechanics down. Obviously, he's part of the replacement for Ryan Howard.
Yeah, they got a lot of guys playing out of position right now, trying to make some things happen. He made a mistake on that bunt back to Cole Hamels. You know, he needed to just read that and go back, go back to the bag. Cole threw it right at the bag where he knew his player would be, but there's nobody there. Had a fast runner, so he certainly didn't have time to take a look.
There's a liner toward left center field. That'll be in for a base hit. Back-to-back hits now for the Phils. Marlins do have bullpen action. Hopefully the Phillies can capitalize here. Carlos Ruiz will be the hitter. Steve Cishak is the right-hander. Randy Choate, the left-hander. Randy St. Clair is coming out to the mound.
Yeah, they coughed the game up out of their pen yesterday with Heath Bell. And you know, they would love to get Heath Bell back into a game today in a save situation and get that save for him.
On the Toyota scoreboard, these are games that will take place later on. They include the Nationals against the Mets at 7:10. The Mets have not lost so far this year. Washington will be in New York. Edwin Jackson against Mike Pelfrey. And Atlanta will be in Houston. Brandon Beachy against Jay Happ. Here's what Wheels was talking about yesterday.
That was Heath Bell. And Bruce led off Bottom of the ninth with a home run to tie it. And then here comes Scott Rollins as a pinch hitter. Hanley Ramirez. Oh, yeah, he really did misplay that. First time I've seen that. They were talking about how that ball had to be backhanded, and yeah, he needed to backhand that.
Carlos Ruiz takes up high. Nobody out. Bottom of the seventh. First and second. Phillies trying to put a little rally to go together here. They're down by 5. Phillies have David Herndon warming up in the pen.
Yeah, they're at the bottom of the order where they could start to hit for people too. Maybe even for Galvis out of the 8 hole, and then of course for Savory. There's Herndon. One of the guys they can use today. Hard to believe in your 4th game you're talking about guys you can't use already.
Well, Stutz has appeared in 3 straight.
Right.
Pistardo. Kendrick has appeared in 2 straight. I should say Stutz has appeared in 2 straight.
2, yeah.
This game 1 was pretty easy. Opposite way. Scooped up on a hop by Sanchez. There's 1. They won't get 2. Ruiz hustled up the first base line.
Another hitter fooled though, an off balance swing there. Nice play by Sanchez.
There's Ty Wigginton, Lance Nix hanging around the bat rack. Looks like Nix will come out and hit for Savory.
Yeah, and if they were to bring the left-hander in, then he'd probably bring Wigginton out. So, you know, you'd have to use up 2 players for 1 move, but that's why they have them both ready, depending on where Ozzie Guillen decides to go.
Freddie Galvis is 0 for 12. 0 for 2 today.
It's your first hit and get an RBI with it. You're staying with him here.
There you go. Lonnie Smith was the last one who went 0 for 18. Jim Essien, Pancho Herrera, all 0 for 18 to start their career.
Wow. There's some blast from the past right
Pancho Herrera.
Francisco.
Toward left center field. Coughlin on the run. He's not going to get there. First major league hit for Freddie Galvis is going to produce 2 runs. Ruiz heading to the plate. He'll score. It's a 5-2 game. Now that'll make you feel good. Get that baseball, everybody.
Yeah, first hit and he gets RBI out of it. How about 2 RBIs out of it? Give him credit too for staying with him there. You know, to me, it would have been very easy to hit for him. Then they get the baseball for him.
Well, good for Freddie.
Yeah. Well, he did this in spring training. You know, he would drive. Usually the ball was down too. Now he's down. That's where he's going to drive the ball a little bit when it's down in the zone. When it's up, he struggles. But he really nailed that thing to deep left center field. And Ryan Howard cheers for him, and he right there right away. He said, "Give me that ball for him."
Well, that's going to be it for Anibal Sanchez. Frank Koppenbarger has the baseball. He'll do right by it.
On Frank's birthday.
That's right. Frank has the same birthday as you don't have a birthday.
Correct. It is Frankie's birthday today, though. So
Happy birthday to Frank.
He'll take care of that.
So Sanchez's afternoon is complete. We have a pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park with Freddie Galvis on second. They'll return to Citizens Bank Park on Monday, May 7th for a 3-game series. All 3 games are at 7:05. You can get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Don't forget Tuesday the 8th is Asian Pacific Celebration Night. And that young lady looks like she just visited the Majestic Clubhouse store to get one of those new Fanatic caps. He's all ready to go. 5-2 the score. Will's going to get yourself one of those hats?
Yeah. I think that's more of a Larry Anderson thing.
Anibal Sanchez, his day is done. 6 1/3. 6 hits. Randy Choate, he's appeared in 1 game. That was the opener. Ty Wigginton will pinch hit for Lance Nix. Nix was introduced as a pinch hitter for Savory. Freddie Galvis is at second after a 2-run double. Wigginton takes inside and low. 1 ball and no strikes.
They have the 2 left-handers in the bullpen, Choate and Dunn. Choate is more of the, kind of fool you type of left-hander, whereas Dunn's a power pitcher. This guy's a fastball, kind of slurvy slider type of guy.
Wigginton's had good numbers against the Marlins in his career. .299 hitter with 11 home runs.
See how he drops down. Now, to left-handed hitters, that can be a problem. Right-handed hitters see him a little bit better when you do that.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. Phillies trying to get another run home. Cut this lead to 2. It's at 3 right now. He fouls it off. It's 1-2. Wigginton was 1 for 8 in the 3 games against the Pirates. And he's late on a fastball, and he's retired for the 2nd out. So 2 away. Here's Juan Pierre. Galvis still at second. Pierre is 0 for 3. He's fly to left. He's grounded out twice. He takes strike 1.
That was an okay runner. You have a heck of a chance to score a run here, even with Pierre, because they're going to be careful about throwing a ball into the middle of the diamond, having it cut off or not cut off, and going all the way to the plate, and then another runner moving into scoring position when they already have a 3-run lead. So, I think a lot of times it's hard to score when Pierre's the batter when you have a runner at second, even though there's 2 outs, unless he's really fast.
Fooled on that breaking pitch. It's 0-2.
Getting a good walking lead off second base, giving himself a chance.
Line drive caught by Reyes at short. And the Phillies will have to settle for just the 2 runs. But the first major league hit for Freddie Galvis, an opposite field double that brought home 2. Phillies are on the board as we go to the 8th here in Philadelphia. Bank. We're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. On top of the 8th inning, 5-2, Marlins on top. Opening day here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies will be off tomorrow, and then they play again on Wednesday. David Herndon is the new pitcher for the Phillies. Herndon yesterday allowed the run to score in the bottom of the 9th inning that enabled the Pirates to take the final game of that 3-game series. He'd gotten ahead of Andrew McCutchen. No balls and 2 strikes. Then McCutchen worked it back to 3-2. And he launched one to straightaway center field and off the wall for the game-winning hit. So he'll face Bonifacio, Ramirez, and Sanchez here in the 8th. Got to keep it at a 3-run deficit. Give the Phils a chance in their final 2 at-bats. There's a strike.
Yeah, they'll go closer, or set up closer guy right now with a 3-run lead. I guess that's what he got out there.
0-2 the count. Bonifacio has been on base twice today. He singled twice and scored a run. Rounds that one up the first baseline foul.
Yeah, they have a right-hander. There he is. Edward Mujica. Guy who's pitched a lot.
For the Padres before last year's season, excuse me, which was not a very good year for the Marlins. They had some expectations going into their final year at the Dolphin Stadium, but they wound up going 72-90. Also didn't have that great of a spring. They won 11 games this spring, 11-14.
Well, they've certainly changed a lot of things around, starting with those unis. Well, starting with the ballpark, and those unis are a lot different.
Yeah, they're somewhat conservative here on the road, but at home they have a number of different variations they can wear. Marlins Park opened the other day to rave reviews.
Yeah.
Ground ball toward third. That's a tough play. Picked up by Rollins, but they won't get Bonifacio. That's his 3rd hit. Anyway, they have so many variations of uniforms at home that their clubhouse, the director of clubhouse operations there, he put a mannequin up. Remember how in Pittsburgh they used to have the mannequin when Willie Stargell's Pirates had all those different colored uniforms? Well, they've gone to that in Miami.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So whatever that mannequin's wearing, that's what you should be wearing.
Yeah.
It's like Garanimals, Wills. You just walk up and say, okay, can I match this to that?
That's what you'll be doing with us before long.
Good chance. We have that flat wheels in the office that we might be able to use, dress that up every day. Guys, this is what we're wearing the next day.
Can't believe that's still in there.
We're going to offer it out to kids' parties or something, but
nobody wants it. Scare the kids. Now you got to pay attention over there. The Marlins have thrown up a picket fence here this afternoon, done a good job of adding on runs. They're scoring 5 different times, and you know, with a guy that can run like Bonifacio, they might think about running again.
There he goes. Ground ball foul.
Boy, he hit Ruiz with a bat, didn't he?
I think he did get him on the backswing.
You know, what happens is the catcher's moving a little bit anyway with a runner going, and now Ramirez looked like he had a big backswing and got him somewhere. It almost looked like they were playing hit and run then. Yep.
Right on the shoulder. Right on the top of the shoulder. 0-1 the count to Ramirez. Over to shortstop. That should be 2. Rollins to Galvis for 1, and there's 2. Second 6-4-3 double play of the day for the Phillies.
Yeah, that one's tailor-made too. Even though Bonifacio can really run, that thing's hit right on the nose.
The Phillies have 2 1-2-3 innings so far this afternoon, and every time the Phillies do that, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, high-speed internet, and home phone.
Runner as fast as Bonifacio on a ground ball in the infield can get on the second baseman, and disrupt that play. But that thing was hit so hard that Jimmy was able to get it to Galvis in a hurry and no problem to turn it.
Gabby Sanchez, the hitter. No balls and 1 strike to Sanchez. Close pitch, 1-1. I think there are a lot of folks here that circle the calendar, circle the day when opening day, when the schedule is released, to see where opening day is. A lot of people make it a tradition. This may be the only game or the first of many for a lot of fans. On the outside corner, 1-2. Mentioned before that when I came back last night at about 11:30 to the ballpark, the line was already forming outside for standing room only tickets.
Wow.
And then this morning at about 7:45, the line was stretched all the way down past McFadden's. Inside, 2-2. This is the 205th consecutive sellout here at Citizens Bank Park. And it's not going to come to a close anytime soon. Swing and a miss. Sanchez is down on strikes, and Herndon has a fairly clean 8th inning. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. 7.5 done here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies down by 3.
Great scene down in the Phillies dugout of Freddie Galvis ended that inning on base after his first major league hit, so he didn't get a chance to come back into the dugout and see his teammates. When he did, just now coming in from the field, lots of hugs, lots of high fives. Ryan Howard, first one to come over to Freddie Galvis and said, "I told you today was going to be the day. I told you it was going to be the day." So a lot of celebration for Freddie Galvis getting that first major league hit. A good scene down here, guys.
Yeah, it must have been a great feeling, Murph, because obviously struggling, trying to contribute, and he certainly has with his defense. And, you know, Ryan here to support his teammates, to get introduced and continue his rehab. We saw the reaction that he had once Freddie picked up the hit. I'll tell you, he's done everything they've asked him to do, and defensively, Wheels, he's a whiz at second base. He really is.
Very, very good when you consider he's not a second baseman, especially when you know that he's a shortstop, not a second baseman. He's made all the plays for them.
Placido Polanco leads it off against Edward Mujica, and he lifts one to right field. Backpedaling is Kearns, 1 out. Mujica, 2 games so far. He's given up some runs. 2 innings, 2 hits. And he's setting up for Heath Bell. First opening day for some. First of many for some.
Yeah, Mujica and Bell, a couple guys that pitched with San Diego and now moved here to the Marlins. Little Bell, he's a typical closer. You know, he's got that little goofy streak to him. You know, he can't wait to get back into a game after what happened to him yesterday.
Phillies closer's warming up right now too. That's Jonathan Papelbon.
He needs some work with an off day tomorrow.
He hasn't worked since opening day. Rollins lines it foul. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. As Sarge before, if maybe Charlie would think about moving Rollins back to the leadoff spot, and he said that he has been contemplating that. Be interesting to see in the next few days if he does decide to do that.
Well, he's much more suited to hit 1 than 3. You know, Jimmy knows that. He's going to do the best he can here. You know, maybe 5 years ago he's more of an extra base threat than he is now. Extra base hitter threat. So
well, he went according to the home plate umpire Chris Guccione. I'm more in the department of getting help if I need it, but he thought he saw it. So 2 outs.
Especially when it's up like that.
Well, it looked like he checked.
Yeah, I think if he'd appealed that one, they'd have said no swing.
Yep, I agree. There was one earlier today, Gabby Sanchez, that was more of a swing than that one was. Here's Hunter Pence, and he hits the first pitch back toward the box, knocked down by Mujica, and the side is retired. Phillies go down in order in their half of the 8th. Mujica does set things up for Heath Bell as he retires the Phils 1-2-3. We go to the 9th. Washington Nationals will pay a visit to Philadelphia Monday, May 21st for a 3-game series. In the middle of that 3-game series is a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. Get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. On Phillies.com, you can find all the Hatfield Dollar Dog Nights that are scheduled for the 2012 season. Very sold-out crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies down 5-2, and Jonathan Papelbon, who has not worked since last Thursday, is the new pitcher for the Phillies. He'll come on to pitch to the Marlins here at the top of the 9th inning. Papelbon had a very quick, very easy debut for the Phillies when they were in Pittsburgh, when he saved the first game for Roy Halladay.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where you know, a lot of times closers have problems in these kind of spots because the adrenaline rush isn't there. But he needs an inning of work, and that's what they're trying to do right now. And hopefully he'll just go out and get some outs and see what happens in the bottom of the ninth. But you don't want it to be an 8-pitch inning like that one just was, when you're down by 3 runs in the 8th inning and you go out on 8 pitches. You know, it's not a real good approach.
Yeah, it was quick. Austin Kearns will lead it off for the Marlins. He takes upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. During the opener, it was our first chance to see Papelbon with a radar gun, and he was topped off 1 pitch at 96, but he was 94, 95. That one was at 94.
Well, this guy's got plenty of stuff. He's going to be good, but they're going to have to get the points to use him.
Joe Blanton's throwing in the bullpen for the Phillies. He was available out of the pen this afternoon, even though he's scheduled to start Thursday. That was partly because of the guys that were unavailable for this afternoon's game. Kearns lifts it to left. Pierre ventures back to the warning track, to the wall, and it's gone. Into the flower bed. A solo home run for Austin Kearns. And it's a 6-2 ball game.
They're making it look like the wind's blowing out.
Seriously. It's 3 shots to left with a wind gusting about 30 miles an hour.
Just looked like a high fastball. It was up a little bit. And it looked like the wind kept trying to knock it down. And they keep going into the first row.
So 3 homers today for the Marlins. 2 by Omar Infante, another one by Kearns.
Now that just took it out of a save situation.
Well, Bell was warming, but I think he sat down. And a strike to Chris Coghlan.
Maybe they might use him anyway, you know, with a day off. But here's Papelbon coming in a non-save situation. Boom, home run right out of the chute. They just aren't the same a lot of times. Closers aren't in these roles because you just don't have that rush.
Coughlin's 0 for 3, grounded out twice, once into a double play, struck out his first time up. And the 1-1 pitch. Foul ball, it's 1-2. There's 2 pitches on the inside part of the play that I think Papelbon thought were strikes. They were called balls by Chris Guccione. 2-2 the count.
He's going to throw a split here. Just had a changeup sign. That's his changeup.
Topper. Papelbon there. Mayberry gets back to the bag. And there are 2 outs. Or excuse me, there's 1 out. And Omar Infante will be the batter. Hey, how about Wednesday's matchup? Man, Roy Halladay against Josh Johnson. Those 2 guys matched up one day in Florida, and Halladay threw a perfect game.
Then they came back here right after that, and Johnson beat Halladay.
Yeah. There's Roy, an off day tomorrow, and the Phillies back home for a night game. Cool night on Wednesday, 7:05.
Should be a pitcher's night.
Here's Infante. He's 2 for 3. He's homered twice today. And he takes inside. Didn't hit his his third home run, excuse me, Wheels, until August last year.
Wow. They're 2 into the wind today.
Seventh time that he's hit 2 home runs in a game. He's never hit 3. Why would you ever think he could?
Yeah, well, that's not what you think of. This guy's a nice player, but you don't think about him hitting a lot of home runs. Think about him being very versatile and a guy that can really help a ball club. I just thought of him as kind of an extra man, but you know, he's their starter.
Played 148 games last year, hit 276 with 7 home runs. 2-1 the count. To right field. That's playable for Pence. Yeah, there are 2 away here in the 9th. Well, here are W. Mason deliveries of the game. We just saw the guy that provided them.
Just talking about Omar Infante. Now watch this. This is the one he hits real high in the air off Cole Hamels. Pierre has to wonder, how can I get one of these? They keep going in the first row. Now here's the one off Savory on a breaking ball. He just hooked that one. That one's into the first row. And those are our WB Mason deliveries of the game.
First one you can hear, it was hit well. Thought the wind would knock it back. The second one I didn't think was going to get out of the yard. Just didn't think it would stay up enough.
And it was low. It was kind of duck hooking. But he hit it so hard he got out in a hurry.
John Buck the batter. It's 1 ball and no strikes to Buck. Phillies in their half of the 9th. They'll have Victorino, Mayberry, and Ruiz to lead off against looks like Steve Cishek. Had a play, and it's 1-1. There's Cishek.
Yeah, they're going to bring him in the non-save now with a 4-run lead. And of course, if he starts to get in any trouble, they'll get Bell up.
Chris Guccione asked for time.
Somebody did, because that dust came swirling up at home plate. And Guccione may have just done that on his own.
That's
or maybe
what I'm
Buck
saying,
said something. Yeah.
I don't know if Buck did.
Watch this dust storm start down here all of a sudden. Look. Ooh. So the umpire, yeah, he called it.
Papelbon just flipped the ball up in the air. 1-2 the count.
That's those 40-mile-an-hour gusts they were talking about this afternoon. Look here, we just had one of them. Why does this wind make me think about Sarge driving over the Sunshine Skyway in Florida? What an adventure that would be.
Well, I don't know if he would even drive over the Walt Whitman today.
Let alone the Sunshine Skyway.
Yeah.
He hates that bridge.
2-2 the count. Low, 3-2.
Bridge is pretty. View's nice down there.
I don't think he's looking at it as being pretty. Logan Morrison's on deck for the Marlins. The Miami Marlins.
Oh yeah, we haven't said it yet, have we?
I said Florida earlier.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm due. Heck, I couldn't stop calling the Nationals Montreal for a while.
3-2 pitch. Got him. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. Pretty good slider from Papelbon. He does allow a run here in the 9th inning on a home run by Austin Kearns. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. One last chance for the Phils against Cishek. Tuned for the expert analysis and exclusive player reactions on Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Pure Auto Insurance, right here after the ball game. So far, the only highlight offensively for the Phillies was Freddie Galvis's first major league hit. It was a 2-run double in the 7th inning. You know, Phillies have 6 hits today. That was the hardest hit of the 6. They just haven't been able to muster much against the Marlins staff. Steve Cishek is the new pitcher. He'll take over for Edward Mujica. 4th pitcher used by the Marlins this afternoon. 4th ball game for Cishek. And he'll face Shane Victorino, John Mayberry, Carlos Ruiz. Those are the scheduled hitters for the Phillies. And then Heath Bell will loom in the background along with Mike Dunn in case the Phils are in need, or excuse me, the Marlins are in need of some help if the Phillies can muster a rally. Chad Qualls, by the way, is throwing in the pen for the Phillies, so that's a good sign that he's able to throw off the mound. He did throw off flat ground earlier.
Yeah,
there he is.
He's out there testing it right now. I think it really used him yesterday. He's a perfect spot, the 8th inning, and that's his role, but he wasn't able to go, and all kind of blew up.
The Phillies now in their 4th ball game have scored 8 runs in 4 games.
It's not good.
No. Maybe they could change that all right here. Started off with Victorino, who is 1 for 2 with a walk. And he takes strike 1. Down the left field line, 0-2 the count to Victorino. The Phillies were not really struggling offensively coming out of spring training, but again, you know, the starters would play the first 6 or 7 innings, at least late. There were a couple of games where they'd struggled with their offense, and Victorino's rung up on a breaking ball, but not like this. In fact, they had 16 hits in the game. It was a loss to the Yankees, but they had 16 hits in the game.
That was a strike.
Now 1 out. Well, the hope is the Phillies can stay above water until they get Ryan Howard back, Chase Utley back. And Mayberry takes a strike. It's 0-1. Mayberry's 1 for 3. His base hit in the 7th helped the Phils build the rally where they scored the 2 runs. Ground ball back toward the middle. Reyes throws him out for 2 outs. So now the Phillies are down to their final out on what has been a very quiet opening day that started with so much electricity as opening days usually do. Last year at this point, when the Phils were opening up the ballpark, it was John Mayberry's base hit in the 9th inning that won it for the Phils.
Yeah, the Phillies were way behind in that game, then staged a big-time rally in the 9th inning with, I think they had like 6 or 7 singles. Then they wound up beating Houston, but doesn't look likely today. Yeah, the fans have really wanted to get into this game all day and just haven't been able to do it, except when Galvis hit that double.
Ruiz toward third, a foul ball.
This guy's a sinker slider type of pitcher. That's what you're seeing from him. Sinker. Threw a breaking ball to Shane Victorino. I guess he thought it was a little bit low.
To the count to Ruiz. At some point, you'd expect the offense to start clicking. At least more than 2 runs per game on average. There's Tomey, in case the Phillies get to a point where they need a pinch hitter, and it's not going to happen today. Ruiz is down on strikes, and the Marlins have taken game 1 of this 3-game series. And opening day here at Citizens Bank Park, the home opener goes to the Miami Marlins. Phillies go down quietly. In fact, the Marlins bullpen retired the final 8 batters, the only 8 batters that they faced in this afternoon's game. The final score, it's the Marlins 6, the Phillies 2. Omar Infante is our Chevrolet player of the game. He had a 2-home run game. He has 3 homers now in the last 2 games for the Miami Marlins. Now, the Fish have said that they are a much improved team. They've struggled against the Phils lately, but not today as they win it 6-2. We'll be back to talk more about it right after this.